Hey guys, Nate here. I really hope you guys enjoy what I put together for the Worldwide Wrestling RPG. And if you do, check out tomorrow's episode of the Deejcast. If you like the Mind Creep in particular, well, hey, he's going to be on the show. We're going to be talking to him about his character as well as Worldwide Wrestling RPG in general and probably a plethora of other wrestling topics if I know myself and Benjamin Powers. We'll see you then. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not Conrad. I usually sit over there. I'm sitting here this time. This is the first time I'm DMing a game, Worldwide Wrestling RPG. Welcome to Underground Championship Wrestling. This is the very first time UCW is actually a thing.
I will be playing Cameron Steele, a 20-something 1%er.
I am Poindexter Puny Ragu. I hail from Bologna, Italy. My whole life dreamed of being a professional wrestler, but I was blessed with infantile-sized hands.
I am playing Lazarus Spivey, the Mind Creep. I want you to picture Chris Angel and David Blaine with Dad Bod.
Today, we crown wrestling's new world champion.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. I thought this was going to be hard.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey, champ, baby. I'm a man of the people.
Shattered World.
All right, so Dirty Streets. He just left the ring, went back up the ramp and into the backstage area after kind of explaining how the night is going to go and what the main event's going to be, and introducing the UCW title, kind of. So at that point, like I said, he goes back up the ramp, and we will end up moving into the first match of the night. First match is going to be Cameron Steele in a match versus a character we have not actually introduced yet. So we're gonna first before every match we're gonna end up doing interviews. At least for this particular episode, we're gonna do a backstage interview with each one of the wrestlers. The cool thing about this particular game, Worldwide Wrestling RPG, is that the creative isn't always the one to do a lot of this narration. So, for example, in this particular interview, I'm not going to be the one interviewing Cameron Steele. It's going to be one of the other players. Same thing with actually in the match. Whoever's not in the match would announce the match. For this particular match, where it's against a non-player wrestler, NPW, and non-player character in other games, I will be kind of narrating part of this match. But as far as like the other characters part of this match, but as far as the announcing goes, that would be up to Conrad and Ben. So, excellent. All right, so like I said, we're going to cut to a backstage interview. Cameron Steele is backstage. There's basically a UCW kind of like backdrop. Basically like a curtain that has the UCW logo on it. There might be like a TV monitor. We'll say there's a TV monitor there as well. But it just kind of looks like a spot backstage that's set up basically just to do interviews. And there will be a small, the backstage interviewer. He is a relatively small man. We'll say maybe like 5'5", 5'6", bald, mustache. He wears a tuxedo with a giant cummerbund. His name is Mean Dean Cumberbund, and he will be interviewing he will be performing the first interview of the night with Cameron Steele. So Ben or Conrad, who would like to play the role of Mean Dean Cumberbund?
All right, so
essentially what you want to do is kind of like some sort of like a leading question. So like for example, you could say something along the line.
All right, yeah.
There you go.
So okay, so I guess I can just talk normally, because I don't know if this guy's like...
Yeah. He's just a backstage. Like a lot of the interviewers, they're kind of meant to be sort of invisible. They don't want to take away from.
Okay, yeah.
They don't want to take away from the actual performer.
So, how did you prepare for tonight's match?
I didn't. I just kind of showed up, and I'm here, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of some guy. I don't even know who I'm fighting at this point, or really where I am. But I'm told they're gonna let me beat the shit out of somebody. So, yeah.
All right. So, how many questions?
What are you doing to prepare for this match?
You can ask as many as you want. That could be totally fine. That could be totally fine.
So, in the past, you've had some issues with substance use, but I can't really tell with your sunglasses. How are you doing tonight in terms of that?
All you have to know is I'm doing just fine. But if you know a guy, give him my number.
Is there a check attached to this as well?
No, it's just my cell phone.
All right, excellent. Cool. So we also then now have a backstage interview with Cameron Steele's opponent. And the opponent tonight is going to be a gentleman by the name of Duke. Duke is think Tony Stark, something like that from Iron Man. Tony Stark, he's always very well dressed. He's very affluent, slick back hair, always really nicely dressed when he's not in the ring and he's not in wrestling attire. Very nicely dressed, really nice tailored suits. He also has a valet, his wife, Duchess. Duchess is just an absolutely drop-dead gorgeous woman. Probably Duke himself is probably he's about 5'11". Duchess stands probably about 5'4", 5'5". She's got really she's brown hair. She's always dressed to the nines. Think Miss Elizabeth for anybody who is a wrestling fan, Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth. Something along those lines. She always is wearing a different gown every night. She never wears the same dress twice. And she's always with Duke. Duke, let me get actually down to his description because that would probably help me here. Duke's the epitome of class. Expensive suits, cars, watches, you name it. He will not drive himself anywhere and has his chauffeur, Kermit White, do all the driving. Kermit White also has his pilot's license and will fly Duke's private jet from event to event, which doesn't necessarily have any real thing here because we're always in Chicago for UCW. However, Duchess is strictly a valet, always wears a gorgeous dress or gown, perfect hair, dressed to the nines. Do not let Duke's affluent looks fool you, however. Duke is a humble and generous man and a very loving husband to Duchess. So we're gonna have, like I said, backstage interview. Mean Dean Cumberbund goes up to Duke. Same, very similar backdrop. UCW, TV monitor, and essentially asks him very similar question. How did you get prepared for tonight? And Duke gives this just really heartfelt promo about how he's always been, he's always been one of the top people in everything that he's done. He's always found a way to, the cream rises to the top, if you will. And so he, basically says that he's going to go out and he's going to become the new UCW champion. He's basically spent all this time in the gym. He's all this time working out, all this time just like preparing mentally and physically for this match against Cameron Steele. For some reason, he actually got the match card. Cameron Steele did not. It probably got lost in the mail.
Who do you think has a higher net worth, you or Cameron Steele?
Is that Mean Dean Cumberbund asking that?
Yeah.
Well, it's it's not that I would, not that I want to speak ill of anybody whatsoever, but I do not know what his financial situation looks like. However, just judging by the look of this absolute degenerate, I would say it's going to be me. I mean, does he have a chauffeur? Does he have his own private jet? I don't think so.
Ooh, some fighting words there.
I mean, I do have a jet.
However, if he does need a ride to another show or whatever, by all means,
more insulting.
by all means,
Even more insulting. I kind of wish he was here for these answers.
Well, hey, all of these backstage interviews, typically, historically, in most actual real life wrestling companies, are shown in a monitor backstage. So you can actually see what the other people are saying. So I'm almost positive Cameron Steele would have heard that. If not, was probably standing off camera watching.
Just like
all right, so
around, seeing what there is.
So we cut back into the arena. Camera cuts back into the arena. The camera shows the main stage, and Cameron Steele, describe your entrance.
So
starting with the music.
So there's no music at first. The stadium kind of goes black, and then the lights close to the entrance just start kind of flashing blue and red as police sirens start blaring through the speakers.
Holla if you hear me.
And then you just hear dispatch being like, in pursuit of in pursuit of suspect. And then Cameron Steele just
just like a lot of police radio chatter.
And it's in pursuit of suspect just kind of drowns out the rest of the police chatter. And then all of a sudden, Andrew WK is Ready to Die starts playing as Cameron Steele runs out of the backstage with handcuffs, wearing nothing but a little Speedo. And an ankle bracelet. As he runs down the stage, just handcuffs behind him. Two police officers in full uniform come running down the stage after him. And they get to the ring and they just run around the ring for a couple of rounds, and then Cameron just scooches underneath the ropes themselves. The police officers follow, but as the police officers get up, Cameron Steele kicks both of them in the head, knocking them out, as he then proceeds to loot their bodies for the police keys and drags the police officers underneath the ring as he's just like, yeah! As Ready to Die just is blaring through the speakers.
Does he grab the hat off one of them and put it on?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, he wears one hat and then he puts the other hat just like in his crotchal area.
10 points for using crotchal area on any game ever.
Oh my god, that's so good. That is an entrance.
Yeah.
That is an entrance. I love it.
Oh, and he also takes the ankle bracelet off and throws it into the crowd.
Awesome. So now one of the members of the crowd can be tracked by the police.
Yes.
All right. So next is Duke and Duchess's entrance. The music itself is kind of rock and roll, but it's soft rock type of deal. I don't want to say like a power ballad, but kind of similar to a power ballad. The two of them enter. Duke is obviously, he's about to wrestle. He's not in his tailored suit. He's wearing trunks. We'll call them red trunks. He's got his name in the back in sequins. His Duke on his ass. Duchess is on his arm. Basically, both of them kind of like waving to the crowd, as they come down. Nothing over the top or crazy, anything like that. But they come down to the ring. They enter the ring. He gets up on the turnbuckle, waves to the crowd. Crowd's going absolutely nuts. He loves to see Duke and Duchess come out. The two of them stand in the middle of the ring as the music starts to fade out. The two of them give each other a kiss. He gives her a quick twirl, and she then exits the ring to stand over by his corner.
Cameron's just like...
Duke's not happy.
I was gonna say, I hope Duchess is leaving.
Classic heel move.
Yeah.
So she...
I hope she isn't.
No, Duchess needs to stand by her man.
So who wants to be the commentator for this match?
you got
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So, as I said, I have never played this game before, and yeah. So, how do we actually start a match?
All right, so
We're gonna go to the rules guy down at the end of the table.
So the way
in
the
my
match
seat.
is typically done is the two parties will narrate the match. Booking always starts, and the way it works is you narrate a sequence with the other wrestler. So, for example, you could say we start with a collar and elbow tie-up. I push you aside, punches left, punches right, and you kind of narrate it like that until you hit a point where you want to do a move. Now, there's different ones that you can do. Generally, if you are, you want to pick the guy up and choke slam him at the end of your sequence, you might roll power. If you want to do some amazing, MMA, shoot wrestling type stuff, you might pick, work. Your standard chain wrestling is work. Real is stuff like chairs, legit attempts to hurt people, or make it look like you're really trying to do it. And look is purely, it's mostly gimmick based. Like if you do a move that's very in touch with your gimmick, especially if your gimmick is out there, that would be more look.
Fair enough.
I will, spoiler alert, I will be using a lot of look. And so what the other players can do during the match is someone can assume the role of the commentator. And while the two parties are narrating, while there's a break, the commentator can say something to maybe put over one of the other wrestlers. And once per match, they can give the other wrestler something called momentum. And momentum is basically like a poker chip. And you can spend that poker chip to add 1 to any die roll you have to make. Based on what you roll, you'll get a different result. There's a master move list, and it'll tell you what you can do. Each roll additionally has other special abilities that you can draw on. So yeah, in this case, the booker would start by narrating the start of the match.
All right.
You would then decide what happens, and then eventually the control would pass to Cameron. Cameron would narrate, do a move. You don't have to actually roll any moves because you just
Because I
decide.
am a non-player wrestler.
Correct.
Cool. All right. So, then we're gonna to get into the match proper. The bell rings. The two you see Duke right in the center of the ring as a master of class, sticks his hand out to shake Cameron's hand, and
Cameron just kind of walk up to the hand and look at it, look back at him, look at it, and just turn around and walk away.
all right.
A complete lack of class on behalf of Cameron Steele. By the way, this is Johnny Turnbuckle, your ring announcer for the evening. Wow, that guy is a total jerk.
So the two retreat to their to the individual corners. The bell rings. Considering the fact that Duke was just blown off from a handshake, and Cameron was trying to get a kiss from his wife, Duke just sprints across the ring, goes basically trying to take you down with the clothesline. He does hit the clothesline. You'll end up going down. He'll go and try to pick you up, and as he goes to pick you up, pick Cameron Steele up, basically grabs him right around the head in some sort of like a front face lock, essentially trying to cut the air from Cameron Steele. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Pass to you.
Okay.
Classic headlock right there. I mean, there's nobody that does it better than Duke.
Yeah, I suppose Cameron Steele will kind of play up the headlock for a little bit, just be like, oh, it's just like not like tapping out, but kind of like giving the motion like he's about to, but not quite. And then he's just like, wait a second. Then he just tries to reach up and start trying to punch Duke in the side of the head, just try to get him to let him go.
One of the punches connects and lands right in the temple. It hurts, and he just kind of like stumbles down, breaks the hold.
So Cameron's just like, yeah.
So that might be considered working the audience.
Yes.
If you're trying to get them to.
Trying to get the audience. on
Okay,
your
so
side.
yeah, I will totally work the audience then. That'll
Yep.
be my finisher before I pass narrative. So that is just roll audience. So my audience right now is just the 1.
Yep.
All right. So that is a 10.
All right. So
I get to pick. Oh wait, no, that's
Yes.
feats of strength.
Yeah.
Work the audience.
work the audience.
So you get them to where I want them, and I gain 2 momentum. So the crowd is currently chanting, "Hard as steel! Hard as steel!"
And that also means you keep control of the match.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So you do not pass it back to Duke. Duke is getting his ass handed to him.
So yeah, so while the momentum of the crowd is going up, he'll just be like, yeah, hard as steel, and then he'll just push himself on the ropes to snap him back into Duke's direction to just try to clothesline him onto the mat to go for the first pin.
Cool. So the clothesline does connect. Just brutal, almost like a lariat. A lariat. You run into a clothesline. A lariat runs into you. So you give him like this
Like flying lariat, like Cameron's feet are off the ground when connection is made.
Yes, that's exactly it. So
Okay.
just this like incredibly strong lariat. Looks like it's about to knock his head off. He's down on the mat, just kind of like really selling it. Just looks like you completely laid him out, and you go for the pinfall.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna. So with the pinfall, referee gets down, counts 1, 2. Right at the very last second, he gets his shoulder up, and you break the pin. He's able to get back up to his feet. He's going to get a little bit of offense in here. He starts doing some strikes, rights, lefts, and then does a spin with a kick directly into your midsection. As he does that, you double over. He gets you back in that front face lock, but then brings you down for a DDT, planting your head into the mat. He will then go to cover you. Again, 1, 2.
Yeah, I'll break.
You break right out before the third count there.
When someone pays with a lariat, what's the best change they can get? A soul butt followed by a DDT. That is an excellent counter. Looks like Steele was rocked. Oh man, that looked awful. 2 count though, Steele kicks out. That is an excellent show of guts and fortitude from the scumbag. Take 1 point of momentum. I am putting you over.
All right. So, at that point, like when Cameron Steele starts getting the upper hand, the crowd is just booing. Just the entire crowd just
Cameron's just like
Duke and Duchess are so beloved, that they, the crowd just, anybody that goes against them, no, like, ain't gonna happen. We'll give you the narration back.
So yeah, I guess at this point, Cam is like after the boos are starting, Cameron is just kind of like now antagonizing the audience. Where's Duke at the moment in the ring?
So Duke's basically just kind of standing, not quite in the center of the ring, but close to the center of the ring, and he's coming up kind of behind you, looking like he's about to attack.
Okay. I go over to the side of the ring where his lady's at, in hopes to move out of the way of whatever he's doing towards me to hopefully get her hit.
Excellent.
Classic heel. Classic heel.
So Duchess she's outside the ring. She's standing on the floor. Obviously the rings have 4 posts. She's standing right in front of one of them.
Oh, so she's on the floor,
She's
not on the ring
She's
side?
not on the ring apron.
Oh, okay,
She's
so
on
does it
the ring
look like
apron.
Duke's gonna be like running at me?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
in that case, I'm gonna prepare myself to trip him. So I'm gonna meet him like part way, trip him, so hopefully he lands into her.
Cool. So you do that. You trip him as he's running, presumably for some sort of a clothesline or some sort of a running move. You're able to trip him. It sends him flying over the top rope, and he hits Duchess. You hear Duchess just let out this like screech of pain, and like. Clearly, he's hurt himself. Like it looks like he's in pain as well. When he when he landed, you see his knees kind of just bounce off the floor, and the pads on the floor between like the actual hard floor, and it's not. They're really thin. They're not So you see his knees just
carpet.
Yeah, you see his knees bounce off, and like he's clearly in pain, but he's obviously more worried about the status of his wife. She's on the ground, just clutching her stomach, like. And just writhing in pain. So he's outside the ring tending to her. You see a couple referees come running out of the back with a couple medical personnel as well to check on her to make sure she's okay. And as that is all going on, he is just standing right by her side. The referee starts his count because
he's out of the ring.
He's out of the ring. One of the rules of wrestling, for anybody that is not a wrestling fan, is the match has to take place in the ring. If you get knocked outside of the ring and you've got both feet on the floor, you have until the referee's count of 10 to get back into the ring before you are disqualified. That doesn't necessarily mean 10 seconds, it's the referee's count of 10, however fast the ref counts. Typically, they'll give you a little bit of time. So at this particular moment in time, as everybody's rushing to her side, the referee is already at a 4 count. So as the count comes up, Cameron has the option to either stay in the ring and maybe see if Duke comes back in before the 10 count.
No.
Or you have the if you did leave the ring, it will start the count over again.
This would also be a solid point, given the narrative, to do your finish, to finish the match. So basically, booking will reveal who the winner's supposed to be, and then you could either hit your finish if you're the one that's supposed to win. If he's supposed to win, then he would hit his. It's a pretty dramatically appropriate place for it.
I would agree. The winner of this match is booked to be Cameron Steele.
Okay.
Duke tending to his lady on the ground, that heinous matadorial move, getting out of the way, crashes. Oh my God! There's you want to win the match, but there's things that are more important. This isn't just about wrestling. This is about a man's wife. Cameron Steele, that dirty, addled, mostly nude scumbag. I hope he feels happy with himself. My God.
It's a really tight
Do you still have the cop's hat in the Speedo too?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, excellent. Describe your finish. How you want to win the match.
So yeah. So as Duke is on the outside of the ring, tending to his wife, Cameron is just kind of like mocking and laughing him inside of the ring while the count continues to go higher and higher, and he's like behind the ref, like mocking the count as well. And then we gets to about like 5 or 6. Cameron's like, wait, no. And then he starts to try to rile up the crowd, trying to get the hardest Steele chant going again. And when at least the one person in the front row is yelling hardest Steele, Cameron gets up on
The rest of the audience is doing it. You get this one guy who's hardest Steele.
Yeah, and pretty much Cameron has thrown that guy the mic, so his chant is going over the rest of the crowd.
Excellent.
And then Cameron gets up onto the one of the turnbuckles on the side that Duke is on, and is just looking around the crowd, just kind of like just like huddled up on the top of the turnbuckle, looking like he's about to just leap off of it. Where he's just like, hard as steel, as he then just jumps off of the turnbuckle into a missile kick as he actually tries to kick Duke in the side of the head.
Excellent.
And I am going to call on my hardcore ability of that is insane. Where
Excellent.
when I demonstrate reckless disregard for my own health or safety, I can substitute real for any other stat.
Perfect.
And then
Cool.
you would
So
roll
then-
your finish.
Yep.
Yep.
Roll the finish.
And I am going. Actually, where is the roll to finish?
It is on the back of your sheet,
Yeah.
on the top.
On the second page. So
That second
yeah.
page, top.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so I roll 2d6, roll my audience. Can I spend momentum before or after? After? Okay, cool. So I am still at 1 momentum because my audience hasn't gone up. Or 1 audience, rather. So...
Wow.
Don't need to spend momentum because that's an 11 on the dice. So that's a 12 total.
All right. And it's a what is it? It's a 10 to.
So it'll actually say what happens on a sheet.
So
For
on
the
a 10 plus, your finish or your finisher
you hit your
finishes clean or bloody in parentheses, which
Yep.
is the one I'm going for. And choose whether or not your opponent gains 1 audience, and choose whether you or your opponent gains 1 audience. I'm going to choose that I gain an audience.
Yes. I'm down with that. So yeah, you come flying off the top to the outside with just the most gorgeous missile drop kick that anybody has seen in recent memory.
What if you do like a 540 spin with it? Just like super tight, and you just like spin like crazy, so it looks like an actual like spinning missile.
Well, like you talking like spin like a barrel roll spin?
Yeah.
If you can.
That would be pretty sweet.
That would
I'm
be
not gonna
pretty-
lie. If
actually
any of
pretty
you
sweet.
can do a barrel roll missile drop kick, send us a clip.
Yep. I'm talking to you, Ricochet. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens. You come, you're diving off and like defying the laws of physics. You're starting to like spin as you fly through the air. The missile dropkick lands square in the side of Duke's face.
I don't know if it was clear. I am trying to injure him.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
I know. Square into the side of Duke's face. Duke, like you just see Duke go flying. His neck snaps. Not actually snaps. Like it's not like he's broke his neck, but you see like his head just kind of snap to the side, and he like just with an incredible amount of force falls to the ground, or like crashes to the ground, and you also see his head just bounce right off the mat, or right off the mat on the outside, which is pretty much concrete right underneath this little tiny mat.
Did he wear like a jacket or something to the stage?
He didn't have any entrance attire at all. All he's wearing, he's got the red trunks on, elbow pads, knee pads, but yeah, very generic wrestling attire for him. But yeah, so he's like just laid out on the side of the ring. The medical staff that are attending to Duchess, they rush over to him as well. Duchess even stops kind of screaming for a minute. She's still clearly in pain, but now she's like, oh my God, like what just happened to my husband? You know what? Yeah, at that point, you see the main referee, the actual referee of the match, who's still in the ring.
Right.
You have other referees and medical professionals outside the ring, but the referee inside the ring, you just see him throw up the X, which this in legitimate wrestling is means like an actual injury.
Oh.
Like so, because like I said, wrestling isn't real. So if somebody actually gets real, a ref will throw up an X to signal to the back, like, hey, they're legit hurt. So you see the ref throw up the X, meaning that they cannot continue, they're hurt. You hear the bell go, ding, 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 and the announcer ringside says, I'm sorry?
Well, you said announcer ringside. So
there's a commentator who's commentating on the match, but then there's typically like the announcer.
I was going to jump in a few times, but I'm enthralled.
But yeah, so the actual ring announcer, you hear him say, the winner of this match due to injury is Cameron Steele, and you'll hear.
And I'll get up on stage, and Cameron Steele will just be like, yeah.
Excellent.
Cameron Steele wins, but I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a hard thing to watch. Wrestling is supposed to be a competition between men and women and others, and to watch this
Cameron
happen...
takes the mic. Is it hard as steel?
Ooh.
I cannot stand to watch this. That's right.
It is a pretty gruesome scene. So I mean, obviously, as your music blares through the arena and you're celebrating, there's a man that's basically half dead lying on the ground. His wife is right there, obviously in pain, clearly hurt as well, and she's just all she could do is worry about her husband. You do see some signs of life from Duke. Where his head bounced off the floor. You do see he has some sort of like an abrasion there, and he is bleeding, blood coming down near the side of his face. But the referees and the paramedics, they'll kind of help him up. Does not appear that he needs a stretcher or anything like that, but it's clear that he had his bell rung. So he makes his way up to the back as you're standing in the ring, just celebrating your victory, probably making fun of him as he's walking away.
Oh yeah, blowing kisses to his wife.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Next time on Duchess and Dragons.
Well, Pointer, I see that you're here. You're feeding the homeless. Is this usually how you get into the spirit of things?
I do. I'm a man of the people, and I like to help the people as much as I can.
Every light in the arena goes dark. You see the video monitor comes back on. All you see is a door. On the door is a nameplate. It says Cameron Steele.
Victoria, 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 Victoria.